So I am really excited to show you some of the brand new features just released this weekend from TeacherMade. Some really powerful tools that have been added that are going to take us from that substitution augmentation phase into modification and redefinition. I have a few videos that I'm getting ready to put out on a lot of these tools and how they can be just a game changer for your classroom in really modifying and redefining what you could do with your work and your worksheets before, really turning them into powerful digital lessons. But for this video, I just kind of want to do a quick overview of some of the new additions. Some really good things have been added, so I want to just do an overview, show you some of the new tools, how they can be powerful for you, and then I'll go into more detail on some of the individual features in future videos. So everything looks very similar to what you've seen before. You can quickly change the title of your worksheet right up here, which is fantastic. Nice, efficient way of just changing your title. Here you can quickly jump to preview so you can see what the students see. Love this because a lot of times we're always confused with digital tools. What does this look like for the student? What tools do they have? So it's a quick way to toggle between your view and their view. You have zoom in and zoom out for your item, your PDF or your content. You have a selection tool, so if you have things that you need to move around your PDF, such as a tool, hotspot, whatever it might be, you can use the selection feature to select it and move it and drag it to wherever you need it. You still have your short answer, so you can come in and put a small 1 or 2 word short answer. You could use this for name, and you could use it for date. And of course, these can be auto-graded, so you can put down what the correct answer should be. You have your drop-down box as well. You still have your open answer, your long paragraph text box. You can still use your matching tool, true, false, multiple choice. Still have checkboxes and hotspot. So I love how they changed the graphic. It's a small change, but one that I think is well worth it. Instead of the little mouse icon, now you have a little flame for hotspot. Makes a whole lot more sense to me than the mouse button. But for hotspots, it's got a nice curvature to it. You can still select whether it should be clicked or not clicked. You can choose how many points it's worth. You can still add multiple ones together. So fantastic way to have students come in and select items from text to show information or evidence from your text for different questions. So I love hotspot, just a graphic change there. Still some really powerful math tools that you can use, numbers, fractions, mixed numbers, and algebraic expressions. You can still add your own text box, but here's where we're really getting into some of the powerful changes. So now you can add images to your documents. So this may be if you want to add a picture of a cover of a book that you're reading. You want to add an image to use as a text feature. So something that they're going to grab from the image and make an inference about for something that they're reading. Just all kinds of uses, and I'll go into a whole lot more detail of things you can do by adding images. But it's a simple tool, but one that's going to really change what all you can do with your students with these worksheets. We still have the color block eraser. Now we have audio recording. So let's talk about this one. This is fantastic if you want to be able to provide audio directions, or even if you have to make modifications or accommodations for a SPED student, you can now do that with TeacherMade. So here, my students are comparing 2 stories, and I want this to be able to be read to my students. I want my SPED students to have this read to them. So I'm going to make one copy of this TeacherMade document for my SPED students, and I'm going to make one for my non-SPED students. I can come in, and under Story 1, I can actually record me reading this passage. Now, I'll go into more detail on this and what it looks like and how you can use it, but fantastic additional feature, so many uses for adding audio, and students will be able to add audio back to you in the future as well, and that's just going to be powerful. We also have hyperlinks. So now we can add hyperlinks within this if you want to give links for your students for further exploration. If you want to remind them of some work that you've already done by adding a hyperlink up at the top in your directions. If you want them to go and watch a video before doing your worksheet. So many uses for hyperlinks. And now you can add those directly into your document. And it's as simple as placing it where you want it, putting your URL, giving it a label so it's not a long link, just the label, and you're good to go. And then we have our draw, highlight, and eraser. So you can freehand draw items on here. You can circle or connect things. You can highlight things in the text for your students to see. So if you want to really have things stand out so your students are paying attention to that, whether it's in the directions or in the text itself, you can set all of that up in advance. And this is what it will look like to your students. So some really powerful additions to this. Now, a lot of these are going to be pro features. You'll see that listed as pro here on the left, but they will be free through this summer until they turn that pro feature into a paid version. So really grab onto these, use them, see all the different ways that you can use these tools, take advantage of them, really powerful things, and check out future videos on how you can use these in more depth.